Hi, Cutie Pies. It's Lanickia, and I am coming to you today with. Okay, listen. It's General Hospital, season 59, episode 101. I love this show. Out of all the soaps, this has always been my favorite one because I'm a huge Maurice fan, and so I've always loved this soap opera. Now, I'm not a big fan of Sunny right now. um, Only because of the way it happened. So let's just go ahead and get into this episode. I actually have it on my phone, so I'll be reading my notes. Now, I'm going to decide how I want to format this because it is a recap review, but I don't think every scene is worth actually speaking about because some of them are just filler scenes until we get back to the action. And even though I'm a Maurice fan, I felt like today he was in more of a filler scene until we got back to the action. Let me try to see if I can get some of this more, dark circles on my eyes because I ain't put any makeup, but it is okay. It is what it is. But anyways, okay, so we start off with Sonny and Nina, and he tells Nina his marriage is over. She goes to the Hunted Star to check on him because she knows he hasn't been taking his medication. She just wants to make sure he's okay. And she tells him, I can leave or whatever. And he tells her, no, there's no need. My marriage is over. Sonny, I love me some Sonny, but you're jumping to conclusions. Like if you, why not call Carly? Like there are things you could have done just to make sure that it was really over. And so then we see that Lindsay is still playing the role of Sam McCall, and I think Lindsay is too great of an actress because I've loved her since she was in Passions as Teresa, and I think she's too great of an actress for her to just come in and fill in for Sam this way. Like find her a role or something on this show. And I actually think she and Dante actually had chemistry as her playing Sam. But that's just my opinion. I don't get paid for that. So we see she comes in and she's just making sure that Dante is okay and everything. So we see that Peter has Bailey. And Peter's in the car. He has Bailey, and I'm just gonna wrap up Peter real quick. And I'm just like, so what's gonna happen here? Because you have no formula, you have no diapers, you don't have enough clothes and everything for her. Like Peter, we're not thinking this thing through. But his plan is to contact Victor, let Victor know the information about Drew so that Victor can get him safe passage out of Port Charles and he can go and live a happy life with Bailey and no one knows where they are. So that's his plan. But in the meantime, sir, like, did he get a diaper bag or it's like you needed some stuff? Like you don't know what's wrong with her. You just took the baby. Anyways, I hate the storylines when it's with the baby or whatever, especially when it goes on a long time. I think it was All My Children back in the day. They had a storyline that went on a long time about with this missing baby. But anyways, so then we see. Okay, so we go back to Sonny and Nina, and he's telling Nina like, "Oh, Carly didn't come, and I guess my marriage is over." And he throws his phone. Sir, why are you throwing your phone? Like you're a mob boss. You need your you need your phone. Like this is not rational thinking, and it has nothing to do with him being off his medications. You're just so upset because you feel like that Carly couldn't forgive you and everything, so you're just going to throw your phone and not be able to contact anyone. And we find out that Carly is actually at the hospital with Dante because, of course, she was with Drew when he got the information about Dante. So she went to check on Dante at the hospital thinking that Sonny would be there because that is your son or whatever, and somebody would notify him. Now, somebody should have called Sonny because if you had called Sonny, then he would have known that Dante was at the hospital and he probably would have came and he would have tried to reach out to Carly. Or Carly could have just, like, why you didn't call Sonny earlier? Oh, but I'm not going to blame this on you, girl. I'm not going to blame this on you because he was wrong for this. So then we go on and we see Austin, who I will always love as Todd, and who I don't really think is playing this role very well. You can see that he wants to take this role into another place because on soaps, you have the bad guys who you don't like, Then you have the bad guys who you secretly like. You, even though they're a bad guy, you still like them, like his character was on Todd, as Todd on One Life to Live. And then you have just the good guys on the soaps. To me, he cannot play that good guy on the soap. I personally don't like him in this role. I like him as the bad guy who you love to hate. That's the role that I like him in. But I'm not making these decisions. So anyways, we see that he's comforting Maxie because, of course, Mac is hurt. And so he's comforting her about, about Max and everything. So, and he tells her, you should probably, okay. So before we get to that, we see Brooklyn and Chase, and she's distraught. She's having a panic attack because she's like, how am I going to tell Maxie that this man done walked up in this house and took this baby? How am I going to tell her this? Like, it was my job to protect the baby. And he's just like, well, the protecting her would be letting Maxie know, what's going on. And he's absolutely right, girl. You got to tell him. But I understood, like, oh my gosh, she was having a panic attack, and she acts so well to me. I enjoy her and Maxie on this show. Okay, so then we go. So then we see Dante. So Chase calls Dante, and he tells him about the baby. The baby has been kidnapped, and he's like, "Why would Peter want? Why would Peter want Bailey?" And so they don't know. They're not figuring it out. And so then we see that. I had to ask my mama because I was like, I know the baby named Bailey, but what's the baby real name? And it's Louise. Okay, so then we see that Dante. So Chase tells Dante that Bailey has been kidnapped, and so they're trying to figure out why would this man kidnap his baby. So then Anna comes in, and they're all telling about Bailey being kidnapped. So Dante, Sam, and Anna are going out of the hospital room, and then they see Carly, and she's like, "Oh, you're good," because she had visited with Dante earlier when he was in the hospital, and they were going to keep him overnight. He's good, but they were going to just keep him overnight. And he said, "Yeah." Peter's kidnapped Bailey. So then so then Carly and Anna start going back and forth because Carly is like, Jason told y'all that Peter was no good or whatever. And Anna's like, I'm going to put an end to this. And Anna can still, she be acting because when Dante told her the baby was kidnapped, she took that step back and everything. I was like, this girl, you be acting, Fiona. So then Bailey has been kidnapped, and everyone is fighting out or whatever, and they're all saying the same thing. Why is he kidnapped? Like, what does he think he's gonna get from this? What is he gonna get from the Quartermains? What is he gonna get from kidnapping this baby? So they go off to check on. They're going to Brooklyn's and Chase's home. That is, and Carly is at the hospital, and she calls Sonny. Of course, his phone is not good because he unthrew the darn phone. So she calls Sonny trying to tell him everything that's going on, and Dante's okay or whatever. It might be good if we just reschedule, yada, yada, yada. And of course, he's not answering. So then we see that Maxie and Austin are talking, right? And he's kind of telling her, it would be good if you told people this, to unburden yourself. And she was like, I want to tell him because the last thing I told Max was that I told him a lie. That was the last thing. And what if he doesn't make it out of surgery or whatever? So, all right. So then she gets a phone call from Brooklyn, who tells her that the baby's been kidnapped. And she's like, it was Peter. I know it's Peter. I can feel it in my gut. It was him. He has the baby. So then Austin is like, what can I do? And I was like, see, that's that good but bad. Because this is like, it was the way he did it. It was not like the good guy would play that role. But anyways, I digress. So then we see that she finally agrees to tell. So Felicia and Robert come up, and she just lets them know, listen, I've been lying. Peter took Bailey, and they were like, why would he want Bailey? And she said, because that's Louisa. And that, and so Felicia wasn't upset. She had questions, but she said, listen, go get your baby, go get my grandbaby, go find them or whatever. So Maxie leaves, and Austin tells Felicia and Robert about what everything that's been going on or whatever. So then we see Anna, um, Anna, Dante, and I can't remember who else. Anna and Dante arrive at the house. But before they arrive, Brooklyn and Chase talked to Ned because he's arrived. And he blames Chase. He was like, you're supposed to be protected. I knew she shouldn't have left that Quartermain protection or whatever. And she's like, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. I felt safe and protected with him, and I made this decision. So if you're mad at someone, be upset with me. And he was like, no, I'm not upset with you. I'm just terrified. Like, I'm scared. So he's just lashing out. It's okay, Ned. But so then Dante and Anna arrive, and they're like, why does he want this baby? And Brooklyn and Chase is like, we gotta say something. Like, we cannot keep keeping this secret. And as he's saying that, they're telling Maxie, if you know something, you have to tell us. And so then, Brooklyn, they're telling her that. And then Maxie comes in, and Brooklyn's just like, it is not my secret to tell. And it's not, girl. So then we see that Maxie just finally says, okay, this is what's going on. That's not Louisa. That's not Brooklyn's baby, Bailey. That's Louisa. And so she finally, like, they know as well. And they're all shocked. Felicia took the news really good when she told Felicia, because she was just like, go find the baby. And they're all shocked, like, what? And also, Robert took it as well. He was like, your daughter is smart as crap for figuring out a way to try to keep Peter away from that baby. And so that's that. Victor, meanwhile, while all that's going on, because that's wrap that up. We're going to see about that tomorrow. So then while all that's going on, Peter has called Victor because he realizes he needs help, like I told you earlier. And so Victor is just like, you ain't tell me nothing about Drew. I'm cool, all you. And so he thinks he's going to track him. And he was like, just be careful because the baby's in the car or whatever. And so, but Peter was like, yeah, if you think you're going to track me off that tracker that you had on this, that GPS that you had on this car, that's in a ditch. So he's like, okay, he's going to help him. I don't know if Victor is going to help this man find a way out of Port Charles. I don't know if he's going to make it or not, but I do not want a storyline that goes on forever with a missing baby. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't care what soap opera it is. I always hate those type of storylines. So I hope they wrap this up sooner rather than later. So, child, Sonny and Nina. Unpopular opinion, like, I like Nina. Like, listen, I like Nina. I don't know. I just like her. I like Carly too, but there's something about Nina I just like. And I ain't like the way y'all did her on this episode. You had Nina. Sonny looked Nina in her face and told her he was in love and wanted another woman, and you still made her want to be with him. Y'all made this girl pick me for real. Like, she is jumping up and down saying, please pick me. I know you're in love with this other woman. I know you're only picking me or being with me because she didn't show up. Because if Carly had showed up, Nina would have been kicked to the curb. I know you're only picking me because of that. I don't care. Choose me anyways, Sonny. Choose me anyways. And y'all made this girl go to bed with this man that, like, girl, the flowers are not for you. Not the bedroom setup is not for you. Like, the rings are not for you. This man was putting his whole heart into this setup for another woman, and you still went to... Girl, y'all did Nina wrong for that. Y'all did Nina wrong for that. But it was when he was looking her in her eyes, telling her that he wanted somebody else, but then was like, so tell me how you feel. I said, Sonny, you will not be a narcissist. You will not be like that. But and then she went to telling him, I would give you up if I could go back. I would tell you who you really were, even if it meant losing Mike. Yeah, even if it meant losing Mike. Okay, well, you don't have, girl. I hated it. I hated that for you, Nina. I hated that for you. But anyways, so they're in there being all intimate and stuff. And here come Carly, y'all. Here she comes smiling and she happy. She's like, oh, he got flower. Oh, I see the rings. He got the flowers. Okay, it's romantic and stuff. It's all cute. I said, please. When they stopped her at the door, I said, well, maybe she'll get a phone call. And it'll alert them on the inside that she's coming. And this will be just like one of those secrets they got to cover up. Maybe Nina gets pregnant or something. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking anything. But no, they let Carly open that door and and catch Sonny and Nina. And on the previews, she's going to say, there's 3 people in this marriage. And there is. Like, Sonny, there's no way that you love Carly the way you say you love her, and you were so hurt and disappointed that she didn't show up, and you emit like you didn't even give it a day. Carly was like, what, a few hours late, maybe 2 3, and you're already in bed with someone else? Like, sir, stop it. But that was General Hospital, y'all. Tell me what you think. I'll see you tomorrow.